worst feeling. It's the thing that just fills me with regret at the end of a night, that just makes me want to curl up in a corner and quit. It's the worst. And so if you're watching this video, you probably know what I'm talking about. You probably struggle with this too. This is probably a very familiar feeling for you. And I just want to say I'm sorry. Like, it's hard. I don't wish it upon anybody, but it's real, it's happening, and that's why I knew I needed to make this video. That even though I'm still struggling, I knew I needed to talk about it. So I'm going to talk about it today. And I want to share some hope. There has been one thing that has really, really, really helped me after months, years struggling, asking for help from people, having people pray for me. There's this one thing I've discovered. I want to share it today. So before we get started, my name is Lana. This is Girl Teach Me. I talk about new motherhood, real food, and creating a peaceful home for the people that you love. And yes, talking about having a peaceful home for the people that you love. A peaceful home is not normally going to have a super angry mama all the time in it. And so I knew that if I wanted a peaceful home for my family, the yelling had to stop. The motherhood anger piece had to, I don't know, stop, come down a notch. Like, I needed to get down to the root issue of what is going on in my heart that I feel so angry often. And so I'm going to talk about that today as well. So the definition of anger is a strong feeling of annoyance, displeasure, or hostility. And what I also want to say is it's not wrong per se to be angry. I mean, anger is just, it's like an emotion. We're going to be angry. I think the difference is that rage, which the definition of rage is violent, uncontrollable anger. Like when that anger flips and it's like that outburst of like, stop, get it together. You know, it's just like that. It just comes out of you almost like this like little volcanic eruption. It just feels uncontrollable. That's when I really feel like the breakdown of relationship happens with my kids, is when I'm like, and I'm like snapping around. Generally happens when I'm in a hurry. There's several triggers I have. But it's that rage. And I feel like that is what just breaks down relationship. And so, of course, anger doesn't bring about the life that we desire, for sure. I mean, none of us really want to be like that angry mom. I mean, sometimes my 3-year-old will say, "Mommy, are you angry at me?" I'm like, I'm sorry that my face is like giving off that resting, you know what I'm talking about, face. So I think what I really want to say is it's normal, it's natural to feel that anger. And honestly, the best analogy I have heard that's really helped me is that before motherhood, we probably were like this glass of water sitting on a counter. And then when motherhood happens, it's like a bumping of the glass, and all this stuff that was like hidden at the bottom, like sediment that was just sitting there, it kind of gets like swirled up. And we're like, oh, wow, my glass was not as clear as I thought. That's certainly my experience. You know, I wondered, is motherhood making me angry? But I think what motherhood does is it reveals the anger that was probably already there in my heart, the selfishness sometimes. There's other words there for all the junk in my heart. But I think motherhood has bumped my glass and revealed to me what I need to deal with. And so maybe you're feeling the same way. Maybe you're like, motherhood makes me angry. I'm just an angry mom. I don't know why. I think it's a good idea to get underneath, like, why, you know, going back to the definition, why am I annoyed? Why am I displeased? And why do I feel hostile about the fact that a kid can't find their shoes, or a baby won't stop crying, or, you know, a 3-year-old's being a 3-year-old? Great example. I had a child overflow the potty the other day, and I'm like plunging the potty, and I'm like, what's in the potty? Like, why isn't it unstopping? And we're plunging. I go get Matt. I'm like, I cannot get this toilet unplunged. And my husband's like, I think something else is down there. And it's never happened. Nobody's ever flushed anything down there, so I don't think so. I have 4 kids, 7 and under, so it's a distinct possibility. And then one of my kids, bless him, came and told me that he had flushed a diaper down the toilet. And you know what? he's just a kid being a kid, like a small kid. Like, honestly, in his mind, I really don't think he thought it was wrong. I don't think that he was being disobedient, and I wasn't going to like discipline him for that. I was angry about it. I think it was a win for us that we didn't lose it on him when we were like, thank you for telling us that you flush a diaper down the toilet. That was a win for us. Obviously, we have many, many fails. And I think a really good thing to remember with the fails is that we need to apologize. Um, I've had some grown up friends I've talked to talking about motherhood anger, asking for their help, and they said, I just wish my parents had apologized. They said, I always thought it was my fault. And there are many times I get angry with my kids, and it is not their fault. Like, I am not in the right state of mind. It is not their fault. They're just being 3. They're just being 5. They're just being 7. They're just being little. And it's me who is sleep deprived and frustrated and angry. And, in those moments, I try to say I'm sorry as much as I can. I certainly do not do that perfect. And so I think a really good idea is if you've had a really angry outburst, maybe you're watching this while your kid is napping, it's been a horrendous morning. Maybe it's greeting them from that nap with like, I am so sorry. I lost it on you, and that is not okay. Will you please forgive me? That is not the way mommy should talk to you. That is not the way I want you to talk to me. Will you please forgive me? And I think that where anger breaks down that relationship, I think asking for forgiveness, like I think even just the words like, I was wrong, will you please forgive me, has been so powerful for my relationship with my kids and even my marriage and other people. I was wrong. I need to say I'm sorry. And any expectation of perfection is just going to be always unmet. And then it's also been a good opportunity in our house to talk about the fact that mommy and daddy are not perfect. In our house, we say we need Jesus, like you need Jesus. We are no exception. Like, we are not perfect. It's actually been a way to like build bridges and strengthen our relationship. I definitely am trying not to go down the rage route by any means, but when I do mess up, I do try to say I'm sorry. I've even woken up kids in the middle of the night, just like, I just have to say I'm sorry. I just can't sleep. So the thing that has been a breakthrough for me, besides apologizing, because I think that is really big, is that there's this one moment. It's really, really small. This one moment where I have like this fork in the road, and it's not even a second. It's so quick that I have to choose. Am I just going to be angry, take a moment, take a deep breath, go put myself in mommy timeout, just not go rage mode? I feel like that is the fork in the road for me, is like, I can choose to not let my anger I can hold it in check. That's like the first option, or the second one is just to let it roar, just to let it out. That's the decision I have to make. It's this really, really quick decision. And I really feel like there will be a way out. There will be a way out if you're looking for it. Like, we are not helpless to this. There is a way out, but it's just going to be so quick. And one of my friends who, her kids are grown, she told me, Lana, you're just going to have to take yourself to mama timeout. And I'm like, mama timeout? She's like, yes, mama timeout. She's like, put yourself in a bathroom, put yourself in your room, put the kids in a safe location, and go just take even 5 minutes, 2 minutes, whatever you've got. That emotional side of me has to come down a notch so that I can like think clearly, like, okay, there is poop on the walls and I feel like I'm going to lose it. And why is poop on the walls? And it's like, just like taking a second. It doesn't have to be cleaned up this very second. Just calm down. Okay. They were just trying to wipe their own bottom, and I can go get cleaning solution, and we can just handle this. And I don't have to be like, why didn't you get me? Yeah, so I just feel like just taking that mama time out is so key. And that's like the decision I've had to make, is like, breathe, mama time out, just take a second. That's the decision I've had to make, is, am I just going to take a deep breath and handle this logically, or am I going to go rage mode? And the outcomes, like the fork in the road is like this, but the outcomes go totally different places. And so just encourage you like to just be looking for that 1 second. Maybe you didn't even realize it existed before, but just to be looking for it. That there would be a way out of the temptation to just go crazy. Okay, I have 2 more things to share. The first one I would say has been that if I am just really diligent to handle first time obedience with my kids, I notice I don't get near as annoyed and I don't go rage mode near as often. I think sometimes I get a little bit lazy, a little bit weary in my parenting, and I'm kind of letting second, third, fourth time, disobedience. Like I've asked them to do something and they're like, no, or they're just not listening to me, or they're just like, I know they heard me, but they just want to do their own thing. That's when I like get keyed up and I get angry. Like I'm an 8 on the Enneagram. I'm like, let's go. This is challenging me. I'm a challenger and we're about to go. But I feel like if I'm like, okay, I asked you to do this, you did not do it, and I calmly take them to the bathroom and go handle that disobedience issue, I feel like I'm a lot nicer of a mom. I do not do that perfectly. That is something, but I know that when I do that, I do not get as angry as when I notice that they are just not listening to me and I feel like we're about to battle, we're about to go, like I'm going to challenge you on this. So maybe that's another strategy. Just like if you just have been letting things slide, like just trying to be easygoing mama, but you're letting them run all over you, and you have a really long rope and then boom, you snap. It's probably because, you and me just need to be like tackling things a little bit sooner versus letting it go, 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 and then just blowing a fuse. The last thing I want to share has been really helpful for me. Been trying to take a quick walk. Sometimes it's 10 minutes, sometimes it's 20 or 30, but just even 5, just getting outside. And the second thing is just to like pray, and I actually take some scripture cards with me. I'm going to leave a link down below on a printable you can print out and some scriptures that have really helped me, and I just kind of walk and meditate on them, and just getting that inside of my heart and my mind is really helpful for me to battle against this struggle that I have. Yeah, just taking a morning walk and just getting some alone time. Like we just have to have alone time. We are people. We need some alone time. I cannot be connected to my kid all the time. I will go crazy. And I think it's really defeating when people tell you that you're not a good mom if you're not always connected. I think it's okay to have some time to yourself and some time to recharge, and that is recharging for me. So that's been my strategy in the morning. I feel like I'm the worst person to make this video because I'm still struggling, but I feel like I'm the best person to make this video because I'm still struggling. I have not conquered this. I don't think we have to be angry mamas forever. I think that we can make progress in this. I think we need to count every little win that we have. And that's actually what I would love to hear from you in the comments below. Is I'd love to hear like a win that you've had recently. I'd love to hear like some progress maybe that you've had, or even just like how you're struggling. Then I would just love to hear, because I'm in this with you. And if this video has been helpful to you, I hope that you'll hit subscribe. I would love to have you here, and I'll see you again in the next video.